The button this time. All right, Weston, kick us off.
Welcome everyone to MS Office Hours. It is Thursday, October 10th. Let me please introduce our hosts.
Hey, everybody, I am Heather Cox.
And I'm Andrea Sangrio, and we're super excited today to have Samantha Fisher with us. Samantha?
Hey everybody, my name is Samantha Fisher and I'm a product manager on the education experiences team. So if y'all know Mike Folfson, I work for him, and yeah, I work on a great team that is focused on building all of our education specific products. So today I have a couple things to talk to you about. I actually plan to mostly just do a live demo because I know this is a great group that just kind of likes to jump right into it, and I don't need to bore you with a ton of different slides. So I want to do a live demo of some cool new AI features that I've worked on with the team and that we've released in the last several months. And I'm happy to take any questions. And if you have any other questions about any of our other products or learning accelerators or anything that's happening on the AI enhanced learning side, I would be happy to help answer those as well. So without further ado, I am going to jump right into it. So the first feature I want to talk about today, so just a heads up, I'm going to be talking about Classwork module generation AI and speaker progress, which is our newest learning accelerator that helps students develop their presentation and public speaking skills. So two AI features, and I'm going to show them both in this team. That's a speech and debate team. So as you'll see, I think it'll all tie together. But one of the cool things that we've just released, we just rolled it out a couple weeks ago, is a new Wave 1 AI feature. So our current Wave 1 AI features include instructions AI. If you tried that on assignments, I'll demo that as well. We have rubrics AI, where you can generate a rubric using artificial intelligence in Teams assignments. And then we also have this new Classwork module generation AI experience as well. The cool thing about all these Wave 1 AI features is they're completely free. They do not require a Copilot license. And the educator is in control every step of the way. So the educator has to review and validate things before sharing with the class. So none of this is just going out to students. But it is pretty cool because it's accessible to everybody who uses Teams. It shows up right away. But you can turn off these AI features in the Teams admin center if you want to. So this is what the blank view of Classwork looks like if you don't have any Classwork modules set up yet. And I have this handy new module ideas button. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to give this a subject. So these are all inputs that are going to help the Classwork module generation AI come up with good module suggestions. So what this is intended to be used for, as you'll see as well, this can be used to add additional modules if you've already added some. But the idea is to kind of help and support the educator in their lesson and curriculum planning process. So if they're at the beginning of the year, if they're new to teaching a subject, or we've even had educators say that they're using it just to validate, get some other ideas. They're used to teaching their class in a certain way with certain modules or certain topics, and they want to see other suggestions from AI to see, is there another way I might structure this class? Or do I like any of the ideas that it came up with? So it allows me to select my subject here and my grade level. So in this case, I'm going to select grade 10, and we support a whole bunch of different languages. We also have the ability to add learning objectives. So I've copied and pasted some here, but the goal of this speech and debate class is going to be developing communication skills, developing speech and debate skills, and using speaker progress. As you've seen, I've added that here to the learning objectives. But here in these learning objectives, I could put any learning objectives to my class, and those will be taken into account by the AI. And then I can also toggle this module count here if I want to. I believe the maximum that I can do is 20 modules, but this is just going to give me a module count depending on the length of my class. And then I can hit draft modules here. And awesome, here we go. So I have these 6 modules that were created, and these are all based on those learning objectives that I gave. And then I have some options to modify the module. So first of all, I can give feedback if I liked it or didn't like it. But as you can see, it broke it up into these 6 modules. So crafting persuasive arguments, effective use of evidence, analyzing arguments and logical fallacies, refining public speaking techniques, developing collaborative debate skills, and constructing impactful speech outlines. So pretty cool here. I can edit each of these modules if I want to. I can actually individually regenerate them. I'll show what it looks like to kind of regenerate all of them in a second. But there's things I can do there. And then I can also just edit it myself if I want to. Also, if I don't like any of these, I can delete the module. So I absolutely don't have to add any of these to my class. But let's also show what modifying them looks like. So by default, we have a more expanded length for the descriptions of the modules, and we also have it in paragraph format because that's what we heard from educators was the most common way that they would want it. But I can also switch it to a bulleted list, I can make things concise, and I can update the modules. Awesome. So now I only have 3 bullet points under each. I've updated these modules. As you can see, I still have the same modules here, but I've regenerated them. I can go back and forth, and I have 8 generations remaining. I am going to go ahead and add these to my class, though. So awesome. Now I have all of these modules here, but I still have to publish them to students. So again, there's a couple levels of safety there from the educator perspective, where I have to review them as an educator before I add them to my class. And then I have to take that additional step of reviewing them and adding my own content before publishing the modules to my students. So the goal here, of course, is not to just put things that are created by AI directly in front of students. We always want the educator to be in control. And then the cool thing here as well with Classwork module generation is I can add more additional module ideas using AI. So I can go back and edit any of my inputs, but it has luckily saved all of this for me, which is great. But let's say I just want the idea for 2 more modules. So let me go ahead and draft those modules. And the really cool thing that it actually does here is that it's going to take into account all the modules that are already in my class. So if my class already has 6 modules with different titles and descriptions, the AI is going to make sure it doesn't generate the same modules or it doesn't generate anything that's too similar. So we have logic that looks at everything that's currently in my Classwork class and make sure it generates new modules for me, which is pretty cool. So let me update these. And then add those to my class as well. So as you can see, this can be used at any point to either come up with new module ideas if I already have some things in my class. There we go. Those have now been added. So super, super cool there. And now I can work on all the other things in Classwork of building out my class, of starting to add content. And just wait, we are working on some features in the future where we'll be able to do actually using AI to help create content within Classwork as well. So stay tuned for that. That's a lot of the stuff that my team is working on currently, is helping even more with the content creation process. So that is an example of Classwork module generation. And now I'm going to hop into speaker progress, but I actually want to stop really quick and see if there are any questions or feedback. So I'm going to stop sharing and just take a look in the chat and see if anyone has any questions about the Classwork module generation feature. Okay, let me see. Question. Okay, a question. I got something went wrong when trying to add Classwork to a team. Is it out yet? Did I mention any add-ins besides Classwork? Yeah, so I can actually show the other 2 AI add-ins and assignments, and I'll do that when I'm demoing speaker progress. But we have instructions AI and rubrics AI. I love demoing all the AI features though, so I'll be sure to show those as well. So I'm curious to hear more, Christine. Was it when you tried to generate the modules? Because the module generation is out. So if you're having an issue, it should be fully working for you. I want to connect you with our engineers so that they can get it fixed for you. So are you using the module ideas or the Classwork AI feature and it's saying something went wrong when you're trying to generate? Because that would be an issue.
Sorry to interrupt your demonstration.
No, not at all.
Samantha.
I'm taking questions for this part now.
So I just went to a team and went to add a tab. To add because you can add an app via adding a tab. So I went to add a tab to do it. And I went through the search for apps to look for Classwork.
So if you're using a class team, Classwork should actually be pre-pinned. It's not an app that you need to add via the App Store. So that's a good question. It should
No, we
just
don't.
be.
We don't use any of those. We don't use that meeting type of classroom. Like we use different team types in our team's environment. But that doesn't mean we wouldn't benefit from what you were just showing, but we don't. So you're saying it's only available in that other type of a team?
Yes. So yeah, to be clear, all the features that I'm showing today are available in class teams. And I'll actually share as well, some people on this call might be using a learning management system. We actually have a brand new way to access all of this functionality from a learning management system as well. So I'm happy to demo or to show what that looks like. But yes, this is all class teams functionality that I'll be sharing.
You might want to tell your engineers to not make it available to add since it doesn't work in other types of teams.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Make it not displayed since it doesn't work.
Yeah, maybe it's a different Classwork app. I don't think ours is available.
It's the same. No, it's the same one. It's definitely the same one. It has the same it's from Microsoft, has your same logo. It's definitely the one that you were showing for sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, I will look into that. Thanks for that feedback. All right. I will head back and feel free to keep questions coming in the chat. I'll address them later. But I'll go back to my demo and show speaker progress now, which is very exciting. So let me create a new assignment. All right. Let's do. So this is a new assignment, and I'm going to create a speaker progress assignment. But in a second, I'll also show what the instructions AI looks like, because this is one of my other favorite free AI features that we have. Okay, so I have given a sentence here. If I wanted to get even better results from the AI, I could write a lot more, but for the purposes of this demo, I'll just show what it looks like to add detail, which is one of the options here. So there we go. Now I have all of this detail added for these modified assignment instructions here. I can edit whatever I want. I can keep it. I can regenerate it. But in this case, I'll keep it. And then I have also additional options here. So I can emphasize key concepts, add learning objectives, add sparkle, which is adding emojis. But in this case, I am going to just keep that there. I'm going to go into learning accelerators now and select speaker progress. So this is our brand new learning accelerator that helps students practice their public speaking and presentation skills. So this is really, really cool. We have reading progress, search progress that you might be aware of, and we've been working on speaker progress and math progress. And I'm so happy to share that math progress is coming to GA next month, and speaker progress has been out for a couple months now and has really been picking up steam, and we've been seeing a ton of teachers using speaker progress. So this tool provides students real-time coaching on their presentation and public speaking abilities, and it's just a really cool way to help students build confidence. We've done a lot of research on our team, and we know that presenting and public speaking is a #1 cause of anxiety for students. It's one of the things that they dread the most in the classroom, and it's something that they feel like they don't get enough practice with. We've also heard from educators that it can be very time-consuming to create opportunities for students to practice in front of the class. Of course, it's still very important for students to get that in-person, in-class practice. But if an educator is trying to do, 5 or 6 of those presentations throughout the semester, that's just going to take up way too much time. And so the goal of speaker progress is to create more opportunities for educators to allow students to practice so that when they are presenting in front of the class, they feel that much more confident in what they're doing. And the cool thing with speaker progress as well is because students are getting real-time coaching and a rehearsal report at the end of every attempt that shows them their top strengths and top opportunities. It's just a hugely beneficial way for students to actually get feedback as they're practicing. They don't have to wait for their educator to grade their assignment or to give them feedback later on. They get real-time, immediate feedback that helps them course correct. So we've had really, really good feedback so far from educators and students using this who feel like it's really helping them build up those skills and giving them more opportunities to practice. And the reason we built this is because communication and public speaking and presentation skills are so critical. We know that 96% of employers say that it's important to them to have workers that are proficient in these skills, but that they've noticed that only about 40% of new grads that are coming into the workforce are actually proficient. So this is in a study that was done of hundreds of employers in the US that felt like there was that disconnect there, that the employers really valued those skills, but did not see those actually happening in terms of new grads that were coming into the workforce. So it's very important for students' employability. And then it's also very important for the future of AI as well. There's been studies that have been done on what the world is going to look like with generative AI. We don't know exactly what the workforce is going to look like, but top experts have come out with the fact that they think that critical thinking, creativity, and communication skills are going to continue to be really important in the age of AI. And so equipping students with soft skills like that is going to be even more important when we don't know the types of technical skills that they're going to need in the future, because technology is changing and advancing so rapidly with AI. So happy to provide more information on either of those things in the chat, but those are just some of the reasons we built this and why it was really important for us to create a tool that helps students develop these skills. So this is what the speaker progress creation experience looks like as an educator. So if I go down here, I have all of these different speaker coach items that I can select. I have pace, filler words, pitch, and pronunciation, which all relate to delivery. So pacing, what we're looking at here specifically is the ability for students to speak within about 100 to 165 words per minute. We know if students are speaking far too fast or far too slow, they're likely to lose the engagement of their audience. So we actually prompt them with a real-time tip, reminding them to slow down or speed up if they've been talking too fast or too slow for an extended period of time. We also remind students to take a deep breath if they use filler words like or And then we also measure their pitch. And if they're speaking in a very monotone way, which can happen if students are nervous or if they're just reading off of note cards or something like that, that can lend to a very monotone delivery. But we want to encourage students to vary their pitch and not rely on just reading things off of a screen, because that can really help keep their audience engaged. We also track pronunciation here, inclusiveness, which is if a student were to swear or use a really offensive term, we want to let them know. And then lastly is repetitive language as well. So if a student is using the same word a ton of times, like amazing, 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 we're actually going to recommend to them in real time, hey, why don't you try marvelous or fantastic, giving them synonyms so they don't have to rely on the same crutch words. And then lastly, for body language, we look at things like eye contact, distance from the screen, and keeping their face clear, just to make sure the video that they're turning in is the best representation of themselves. And it also helps them practice, because keeping their face clear, not looking down, making eye contact are all things that translate to in-person presentations as well. But these are totally customizable. Let's say, I don't care if my students swear. I mean, probably most teachers wouldn't say that, but I can turn things on or off if I want to as the educator. It's completely customizable. I won't show this quite yet, but we are working on this brand new AI feedback feature. That's really cool. So this will actually allow us to also give AI feedback on the content of a student's speech, but I might save that for a future demo, because we're still very much in development with that. Other things that I can customize the presentation title. I can customize the language. We've recently released a bunch of new languages, and we're working on releasing even more. And I can also give it a number of attempts if I want to, and a time limit. I will pick 9, which is a pretty random number. But there we go. I've created my speaker progress attachment now. Let me give this some points. And then I can go ahead and assign that. So that is the educator experience of creating a speaker progress assignment. And now I will actually turn off my camera here in the webinar and flip over to the student experience and show you what that looks like. Oh,
While
actually,
you're flipping over, Sam, quick question. Is this going to be available in other languages? There's some chatter in the side around being able to practice other languages.
Yeah, great question. So I showed it briefly, but we just released, I realized I didn't have my student account pulled up, so I'm pulling it up now. We just released a bunch of new languages and we're working on even more. So we just released Portuguese, Spanish, Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish. We're working on French, Japanese, Korean, and we are working on a bunch of different languages. So if you have a language request, let us know. The only thing that we have to do at this point is it's just a manual or not a manual process, but it's just a process of figuring out what the filler words and sensitive language that we need to be aware of for that language are. So we're just doing that language by language to make sure that we're catching all the swear words and filler words and, most common repetitive phrases. Okay, I think I'm logged in as a student. Give me 1 second here. Okay, yes, perfect. I will reshare my screen. Sorry, folks, just realized I was not logged in as a student, so I need to pull that up. Okay, perfect. I will turn off my camera here so that Speaker Progress can pick up on my camera when I share the student experience. So here is the student experience in Teams. Also, I'll go through this kind of quick because I do want to make sure I can show the LTI integration as well. But let me go and view this assignment. Speaker progress. All right. There we go. It's going to pick up perfect on my video. I also have this ability now. We're releasing a feature at the end of the month that will allow me to upload a PowerPoint, which is huge. We know that's a big request. So being able to walk through PowerPoint slides and share my screen is really a big feature that we're working on as well. So that is coming. Stay tuned for that. These languages and PowerPoint are rolling out later this month. So really excited about both of those features. All right, so as you can see, I have this welcome to speaker progress, that little tip. Oh, all right. I think the webinar, give me 1 second, is messing with. Oh, it's not picking up on my my microphone because of being in a meeting. All right, plan B, I will actually hop right. Oh, I think both my camera. 1 second, everybody. I will actually share a deck and share the LTI experience to show with you all what that looks like. Because I am struggling a little bit with the live demo while being in a meeting. That can always be a little bit finicky. But let me pull up the deck. I'm also just looking at the questions here. Yes, yeah. Very exciting with the additional language support. And then a question about this being used outside of class teams. So, fun fact, this has been like a long-term discussion that we've had as a team. These are all super cool tools, and we've heard a lot of people, want to be able to potentially use these in other team types. No updates to share there, but it is something that we've heard feedback on and that the team is actively considering. But yeah, for right now and for the foreseeable future, you would have to use a class team to be able to access this functionality. But I want to share a couple things. So I'll show the video of the student experience here, just because my video was struggling in Teams to pick it up. But this is what it looks like. So the student will click on speaker progress, just like I did. Yeah, there is Speaker Coach in PowerPoint on the web and in desktop. So it's not the exact same experience as Speaker Progress, because as you'll see here in a second, Speaker Progress is very tailored for education. We've improved the coaching, we've improved the algorithm, and as you can see, he just got a real-time notification to use less filler words. And then he actually gets a report at the end, as you can see here, with his top strengths and top opportunities. So I'm going to pause it just to share that. We actually put the things that they did really well in the top strengths category and the things that they should work on in the top opportunities category. So it makes it very actionable, which also makes it a little bit different than the PowerPoint experience. However, I would highly recommend checking out that PowerPoint experience because it works great. And I use that experience. And there's also a Speaker Coach experience in Teams meetings that you can turn on as well, which is really cool. And so if you're using it as an adult or using it outside of a class team, would recommend checking out the PowerPoint and the Teams meetings integration there. So I also want to share really briefly the LTI piece as well. So for customers that maybe aren't using class teams as their core learning platform, totally makes sense. We totally get it. You might be using Canvas or PowerSchool or Blackboard or Brightspace or Moodle, and we want to make sure that you can access all of this awesome functionality in those tools as well, which is why we've created an LTI that will let you bring all these awesome Teams assignments right into your learning management system. So from the educator side, you can add a Teams assignment. This is all in Schoology. You can see any assignments that you have, or you can create a brand new one. So in this case, I've hit create. It's launching Teams, and it's not going to make me sign in again or anything like that. And everything I create can just be linked back to Schoology very easily. Yes, super. I'm glad you feel that way, Jose, that the LTI is impressive. So I'm just going through the experience here of creating a Speaker Progress assignment, very similar to what I just demoed for you all. There we go. I'll skip ahead a little bit. So when I assign that in Teams, I go back to Schoology. And as you can see, I can refresh that brand new presentation assignment I just created, and I can link that to Schoology. Once it's linked, that means my students can launch it right from within the learning management system. Now I have that summer presentation thing that's created for me in my LMS, and all the grades are going to sync back automatically. So whenever I grade it, those will all show up in the learning management system automatically, which is huge. From the student side, this is what it looks like. I have ready to start. I can see open in Teams. And when I open it, again, single sign-on will be really seamless, make it perfectly easy to get right back to Schoology when I'm done. So we've really created this solution, hopefully for our customers that are using an LMS but want to try some of this really cool functionality. So here's me using Speaker Progress. There we go, getting some feedback, viewing my report, and then being able to turn that in. And when I turn it in here and upload it, it automatically gets turned in the learning management system as well. So there in Schoology, when I refresh that, oh, I can see that it's turned in. And it's a very similar experience on the grading side as well. So yeah, I know I'm pretty much out of time, so I'll end there and see if there are any kind of final questions. But that is Speaker Progress. That's our newest learning accelerator. It lets you get that real-time coaching, see the rehearsal report. It gives educators insights over time as well. And then I also showed Classwork module generation, which I hope you all check out. That's for generating Classwork modules and topics and descriptions and things like that to help build out a course outline for educators. So these are just some of the new AI features we've just released, and we're working on even more. And so hopefully we'll be able to come back and present on even more new features in the near future.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you, Samantha. The other day I told Samantha she presented for us internally on Monday, and I know this community likes to giggle, but we gave her a very short period of time for a lot of content. And Samantha reminded me of the like 80s, 90s Micro Machines commercial, for those of you who grew up in those days. And I mean that in the kindest of ways. It was very, very impressive. So Samantha's like the queen of short time, lots of content, but still makes you understand it. So thank you, Samantha, for your time, for your energy, and for your flexibility, because that is also impressive, the way you can adjust on the fly. So thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking in the chat. Thank you, everybody. As always, we love seeing you, and we hope to see you again next week. So have a great rest of the week. Have an amazing weekend, and I'm going to kick you. Bye, y'all.
See you all next week.
Bye.